Well, hello, folks, and I'm Ed Shanafi. I'm your host, and this week we have Aaron James on the line with us. Aaron is the club manager, general manager at Country Club of Asheville down there in North Carolina. Welcome, Aaron, and thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Ed.
Aaron and I met on LinkedIn, basically over a comment on someone's post. I forget whose post it was, but it was about making your club a destination. It might have been my post, and I think you maybe weighed in. But before we go into how Aaron makes Country Club of Asheville a destination for his members, Aaron, I'd like you to take us through your story and how you got into club management and how you got to Country Club of Asheville. How'd
Yeah,
that happen?
thank you for having me, Ed. I got into club management. My first management in hospitality was in a company called Club Med International Resorts. You don't know Club Med, uh, 70 locations around the world, 70 years in the business. Their whole goal is guest satisfaction, working on that plus plus. And the GOs, the gracious organizers, are about creating that, getting people in, creating that atmosphere of graciousness. So our goal was always member contact, member contact, member contact, and that was the skill set that I took away from there the most was 7 a.m. to 1 a.m. I am in front of the membership. I'm in front of the guests. I am talking to them. We sat down. We would have lunch with them. We'd have dinner with them, and it really sparked a fire in me, going, okay, I can make a career out of this. This is the best part of this job. So over the years, I've kind of adjusted trying to find what that looks like. I thought I was going to be in hotels. I worked for the Marriott company down in Mobile, lower Alabama, Mobile area. And then I got in with Cherokee Town and Country Club under the guys of Michael Wheeler, and my boss at the time was Matthew Spangenberg. They really helped refine my skill set as a manager
That's
and
a
as a
small
leader.
club, Cherokee. Small club, not known at all.
No,
Great tutelage there.
no,
That's
a small
fantastic.
club.
Well done. Going
Yeah,
from Mobile to Cherokee. Well done. That's a great move.
yeah.
Go ahead. Go on. Sorry to
So
interrupt.
I was on the fitness side, fitness and wellness. So I had a skill set there, and then as we all know, fitness and wellness is not about it's a deficit. It's a deficit adventure in whatever you do. So it's about creating foot traffic, engaging with the membership, getting people to come through the doors, and that's really what we used it as a tool. We ended up going from a $700,000 operation to a $1.4 million operation in the 3 years I was there. We went through renovating both fitness centers from top to tail, equipment, flooring, everything. Built up the spa, and it's still thriving today. I saw a post the other day that they're still going well, and I'd absolutely love to hear the things that they're doing over there. And then I went down to Kiowa, and I found that there's a culture down there that was a little bit more beachy, and I wanted to get back into the country club industry. So I came up here. I got the opportunity to come up here to work for Asheville and McConnell Golf, and it has been absolutely amazing in the last year now. And I couldn't be happier about it. They've really given me the tools to succeed, and the people around me just are excited to have me here, and that's even better.
Yeah, so you are a really good example of hospitality because you started at Club Med, and for those I've been to Club Med once. I went there on a conference for a USPTA conference. They had a Club Med here in Port St. Lucie, and it's not a club. I mean, it says Club Med, but it's really a resort, isn't it? It's
It,
like people come for 2 weeks. You see them for 2, 3 weeks, maybe max, right?
yeah, 2, 3 weeks. Sometimes people come 3, 4, 5, 6 times a year. That's actually the one I started at, was the one in Port St. Lucie. And then I got shipped off to China and did a stint of training in the Dominican Republic. So you really get to refine your skills through the different cultures you're working with and understanding how different people, different cultures mesh and what they expect of each resort, whatever they go through.
Right. And so basically your roots are there on the resort side, and then you went into country clubs with from Alabama to Cherokee,
Mm-hmm.
and that whole. So you have a really good pedigree in this, and it's great that you're now at Country Club of Asheville, one of the elite clubs in North Carolina, in the hills there. It's a beautiful spot. Um, and how long have you been there at the club at
Uh,
Asheville?
I've been here a year now. Seen
Great.
some great changes, seen some great opportunities for continued growth as well.
You brought up something there. You saw the renovation of the fitness or two fitness centers at Cherokee. And every time a GM goes out with his resume or her resume, A lot of boards like to see that experience. Was that the case with you too? Because you were in charge, obviously, as you know, in the fitness and wellness. Was that a part of the interview process? Was that important to the people that interviewed you?
It's always important, and whenever I've talked about that, people want to know that you can do the project management side of things. They can make sure that you're constantly keeping things up to date and welcoming, trying to get the membership to engage, and that's what we're doing here at Asheville is trying to get the membership to engage. I came in with an older fitness facility, and during my interview, I walked through and I said, "Okay, well, this is the first thing that we got to tackle because that's where people want to go." I mean, it's an amenity, it's a deficit adventure, as I mentioned earlier, but people every fitness center, every country club is going to want to have a fitness center over the next 15 years because people are making fitness a priority. And if you don't have a fitness center or you're an outdated fitness center, if you're not updating it constantly, keeping up with the trends, you're not going to get the people through the doors that you want to get because that's an easy win.
Yeah, it's funny. I just had a meeting with our director of fitness here at a club that I help out here in Florida. And, the most important thing is making it a marketable amenity consistently. Because in this time of inflation, too, where dues are going to go up, you've got to make sure that every amenity is top notch so that when a member comes to you and says, hey, the dues are going up 5%. Well, yeah, but look what we did with the fitness center. Look what we did with the pool. Look what we did with the kitchen. So they can see where their money is going. It's really important. I'm sure you're seeing that in Asheville as well.
Oh yeah, it's definitely as I've made adjustments to it, people have understood why we go up in dues, why we go up in capital dollars, whatever it is. Especially at Cherokee, people were looking at it and they go, "Oh, I get it. I get why you guys did X, Y, and Z. I get why you did that." And then at the same time, they started using the other parts of the facility because we were able to expand, whether it was marketing for the fitness and wellness department or the food and beverage department. It was just an opportunity to expand everybody's horizons and update
Yeah,
that experience.
right. And how many members do you have there at Asheville?
We just under 650.
Wow, it's a big club. Ooh,
It's a very big club. We do about $1.3 million in food and beverage revenue, and we do close to 25 plus thousand rounds a year.
that's a lot of golf and a lot of food. It's funny you bring that up. Every club manager I speak to, and I need to get more club managers on the podcast, but every club manager I speak to, when you do a job spec for a club for a GM search, the first thing every GM candidate looks at is the revenue dollars in the food and beverage department. That really tells those candidates where and how big that club is. You could say you have, as you did, 650 members, but if they're not spending 1.3 million in the food and beverage, you really don't have anybody coming to the club. So that's such an important stat that you bring up, and it feeds on to my next question which is what this podcast is all about. How do you make your club a destination for your members? Obviously you're doing that in food and beverage. You've talked about what you've made, the major change you made in the fitness side. On the food and beverage side, how do you stand out for a family that say a family of four that wants to go out for dinner? How do you get them to the club rather than a local restaurant? What's your theory behind that? How do you do that?
Um, it's real simple. The
Okay,
club is a
tell me.
community. The club is a community. How do you? And when people join a club, they don't. At at the end of the day, yeah, they come for the food and beverage, or they come for the fitness, or they come for the golf, or the tennis, whatever else you got going on. But at the end of the day, why somebody joins a club is because they want to be part of a community. And why do people leave the clubs? Well, and it could be LA Fitness, it could be whatever. They leave because they're not engaged. 70% of everybody who leaves a club is not engaged in that club. Why aren't they engaged? Why haven't we built that community? I play the game when I go into the dining room. Hey, have you met Mr. Jones? Hey, Mr. Jones, this is so and so. He's a brand new member. Happy to have him here. You guys both work in this X industry, and they hit it off. And next thing you know, that guy's got a golfing partner. That guy, they coming back to the bar for a drink, or hey, you both have 10-year-old boys, and you create that community. You create that drive that people want to come and hang out with each other. The bar is
Right.
the most social place on earth. And how do we get people? Just the other day, I saw people who have both been in the club for members of this club for 10 years, looked at each other and go, I haven't met you yet. And they shook hands, and next thing you know, they're playing golf together. It's
That
that's what this industry is about.
it's funny you say that because the club is a community, and in on the member side, and we were just talking about this morning at the club I'm helping out right now. is that the members have to understand that too, and it's led from the top. Unfortunately, it goes to you. You know, buck stops with you. If you're not introducing or educating the members to realize that, hey, you got to give back to your club. This is your club. This is your community. I'm here to help. I'm here to, assist, but you have to really participate as well. I mean, obviously you guys probably have a wait list right now.
No,
No?
no,
Okay. So
we're
folks,
still growing.
we can sign up today.
Come on
Um,
over.
but I mean, let's say you get a wait list soon or what have you. I mean, obviously one of those questions that I'm finding out really important with new membership is how often do you think you'll be here, and how will you view your club? Will you view it as a community? Will you just come here, play around, and leave?
Mhm.
Up in the summer destination clubs, people are so scheduled, it's really hard to get them to hang out. But I try to make it as best I can. Hey, you want a cup of coffee? I got coffee inside. You want, let's go talk about your racket. Hey, have you met, as you said, Mr. So-and-so or Mrs. So-and-so, or your kids are friends? Don't you think you should be friends?
Yeah.
Um, so when you make it a community, is it about, obviously it's about meeting people, but what about events? Is there like a new member luncheon, new member drinks? How do you get the new members involved with a coterie of friends that have been there for many years, probably?
That is still something I'm currently in the process of building. When I got here, we didn't have a new member onboarding process. We didn't have a chance for new members to come in and see it, and it really was lackluster in that part of it. So what I've done is I've started the new member orientation. The minute they sign that contract, they get an email from me saying, "Hey, I'd love to schedule a time to come in. How do I get you to come through? We'll talk." And I take them department by department. I introduce them to the servers. I introduce them to the bartenders. I introduce them to managers, golf pros, housekeepers, anybody. That way, when they come back in the next time, they know a friendly face.
Right.
And that friendly face can then take them to another friendly face and another friendly face.
So
My wife
onboarding
gets,
through staff. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah,
Yep.
my wife gets frustrated with me. We go out to dinner and I see 4 members, and I make a point to go over and say hello. And or I'm trying to leave the bar and or the restaurant here at the club, and it takes me a half hour to get out the door because I'm going in, I'm saying hi, I'm talking to people, and that's how you build that community. That's what we're doing. Especially if I see a new member at the bar sitting alone, I go over and I talk to them and I say, "Hey, have you met so and so? Have you met Mr. Jones?" And that's that creation of that relationship is the bread and butter to what we do here. I know the How I Met Your Mother used to do the game. Have you met Ted? I love that game. I think it's the best game on earth. I start everybody with my bartender. My bartender's been here 16 years. He knows everybody, their kids, their grandkids, and their children, and he just plays that game all day long.
Right.
And
Right.
to create that connection is the most important part to what we're doing. And now we're going to start, as we've developed this onboarding process. Now I get to start developing okay, I got X amount of new members. We're going to hold a quarterly new member mixer with some older members, create those groups, create those chances to play together, tennis, rackets, whatever you want to do. Y'all come in, you sit down afterwards, you have a drink. It's almost like a mentor program too.
Yeah.
Give somebody to go to. Hey, I got a question. How do I do this? Um, and then we create that partnership. It's a partnership. Like you said, uh, the membership and the club management should be a partnership in developing and the success of the club. And that's really what I've begun to talk about as well.
Yeah. Well said. I know you've only been there a year. The club is how many years old?
1894 was founded.
Okay. So
It's been around.
it's been around. One of the older clubs. And here's the thing, and you just mentioned on it, you tapped into that, is multi-generational. Is these families, the kids grow up, and I'm seeing it now as a dad. But my dad sees me where I grew up at my club, our club, Walkabuck, and I'm still a member, even though I don't live in New York State. I'm still what do they call it, a non-resident member. I don't want to give that membership up. It just holds a special place in my heart.
Mhm.
B, you never know where your next job will take you. And C, a lot of the same kids that I grew up with are parent members now, parental members, and their kids are there. So that's a way to make your club a destination, is through generational love or
Mhm.
affection.
Yeah.
Do you guys have like a legacy member, like an associate that a kid is grown up there gets a better deal, early
Yeah, we
on,
have
that
a
kind of thing?
heritage program, and we're starting to
Hmm.
see people really take advantage of those, and we're starting to see relationships, well, whether romantic, personal, whatever they are, they're really starting to form out of those heritage memberships. It's kind of been fun to watch, and unfortunately, we've seen a few of those memberships consolidate because of that. But it's I'd rather
Hey,
have that than lose them.
don't lose
So
a member over that. That's great. Um, and let me ask you about the golf. So the golf, so McConnell Golf, and I did a little research before I got online with you, is basically a small company that owns 15 or 16 club properties, right?
we're at the 16 owned right now and two managed.
Okay. So and it came out of and correct me if I'm wrong in the story, but it came out of the CEO's love of a particular golf course. He didn't want to see the golf course disappear, so he bought it and saved it, right? And now you're in a group of 16. Do you guys meet as GMs? Do you share? Because that's a heck of a plethora of experience there with 16 GMs, 16 clubs all under the same roof of this caliber of club, and this is an elite level of club. Do you guys meet up? Do you guys have your own socials? How does that work?
So COO or COO Christian Anastasiadis has really made it a point to building clubs of the future. That's our motto. We're going to build clubs of the future. So he's going out and finding people and trying to build the bench for the next generation to really push the club industry forward. We have a great GM outing once a year that we do. We all get together. We sit down, we network, we brainstorm what's going on here. How can we do this better? Nice thing is we are in 4 states. We're in North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, and Tennessee.
Okay.
So we're in 4 states. You got 4 different cultures, and within that, I'm 600 miles from, or 380 miles from the furthest one from us,
Right.
over there in Wilmington, North Carolina. So we got 2 different cultures within the same state. I just came back from the food and beverage conference for McConnell Golf yesterday. I mean, and it's literally they're bringing in everybody from those 4 states, those 16 clubs, and we're talking about what are the food and beverage trends? What are we doing here? How can we better this? And it's all about networking. And to have that many minds in one room,
Right.
there's no ceiling to what we can do.
Well, yeah, and you're all working for the same goal, and the
Mm-hmm.
same person or persons. Do you ever, if I joined Asheville, right? If I joined the Country Club of Asheville, do I have whatever that word, reciprocity at other McConnell golf clubs? Do I get?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. See,
The,
that's a great deal.
it's a great deal, considering the fact that you got everything from he's got a variety of Donald Ross courses, some Tom Fazios. He's bought the Pete Dye course up at Virginia Tech. There's so many different courses, and then we host Sedgefield, which hosts the Wyndham, is
Hmm.
owned by McConnell Golf.
Okay.
There's the Knoxville Open. There's a Corn Ferry tournament in Raleigh that happens at Raleigh Country Club. So we're playing championship golf. We're pure golf for the true golfer. And what's the true golfer these days? The true golfer is you and me. It's mom and
Yeah.
dad, it's the kid, the parents with the kids, and really creating that familial atmosphere. We're a true family club, and that's really what John McConnell is pushing, is the family club.
It's funny you mentioned the designers, and they're all. I love Pete Dye, Fazio. I hate their railroad ties because my ball's always hitting off the railroad tie into the lake. But I grew up in Jupiter, Florida, for a couple of years, and the community we lived in had a Pete Dye course and a Fazio course, so I know those designers well. Great courses, great designers. You guys, so so do you ever feel competition from your other clubs? Like, here we are talking about making our club a destination, and you've got 16 or 15 automatic competitors trying to make themselves just as good as you under the same umbrella. Do you ever feel that? Do you ever, maybe you use it to your advantage, but do you feel like I've got to make my club more of a destination? How would you do that? And do you ever feel that?
You really don't feel it. I mean, that's what I love about the club industry. It's all about how do we make each other better. But at the same time, there's that ego that pops out every now and again, saying, "Hey, why are you going over there when you can come over to us?" Asheville makes it very easy to be a destination. We get a lot of people coming up from the beach in the summer months to get away from the heat and the humidity. We're considerably 20% 20 degrees cooler than the ocean. Granted, we are almost 400 miles from the ocean, but still,
So long. It's a big state, North
it's a
Carolina.
you never know how big these southern states are going to be. Um, but you feel it in the process of you hear the members, oh, hey, I played this golf course, or hey, I had this food over here, and they all come and go as they please, but they all have their home club. So it's not like they're running off to, like, my members are not going to be running off to Wilmington every other week, or they're not going to be
Right.
running off to Raleigh.
Right.
My members are going to stay here in Asheville, and then they'll travel periodically, which is a great opportunity because sometimes we have to close down our golf course, whether it's for aerification or tournaments or anything like that. That's when our members travel. That's when they go check
Wonderful.
out courses.
Yeah, check out the other courses. Do you guys have clubs that have rooms? Like, so can you stay in any of the clubs? Because that'd be even better. Like, you go over to Wilmington and say, "Hey, I can stay at the club and play golf."
Yeah, we do have a few. The Musgrove Mill course in Clinton, South Carolina, has 6 rooms, and then we have a course up at Water's Edge, and they're literally built for stay and play courses.
Great.
There's not much around them, and people go out, and they're beautiful, beautiful courses.
All right, I'm going to ask you a philosophical question now, and this emanates from two things, two themes. Making your club a destination is as you said, making the club a community, is creating a service level based club that members want to come to.
Mm-hmm.
Every once in a while, and it's more than once in a while now, I'll have a member of staff, or I'll see someone that comes in on a staff that says, well, I don't have to be there early for that member, or I don't understand why I have to serve the member so perfectly, or I don't understand why I don't have to pick up that towel in the locker room while I walk by it, as you know, even because I'm in food and beverage or what have you. Are you finding some instances of that? How do you coach an employee to understand that service level that's required, and how, and when worse comes to worse, how do you say, hey folks, your time with us is over?
So one of the tools I get to use, especially because of we're in this industry and it creates the verbiage here, um, with McConnell Golf, we are one company. We're multiple clubs, but we're one company. You
Mm-hmm.
take that down to the local level, we're multiple within the club industry. Within our club, we're multiple departments, but we're one company. Everybody's goal is success. I tell people all the time, excellence, excellence, excellence. And excellence is not just within food and beverage. It's not just within golf. We're breaking down pillars. We're breaking down communication barriers to build that goal of excellence. So I don't care whether it's me walking through the fitness center or the director of golf walking through the fitness center. If you pass by and you see something out of place, put it back together. If somebody's not having a phenomenal experience, an excellent experience, how can we make your experience better? I use golf right now to with some of our merchandising. We don't have a big spot in fitness for merchandising, so we're pushing that over there. We're doing a lot with tennis. We're trying to do a cross collaboration to make sure that the experience is awesome. Now, if there's an employee that doesn't want to jump in on that experience, there's a coaching process we go to. And if at the end of the day it doesn't fit, I've been in places where my culture doesn't fit with the culture of the club, and we have to find that out. And if that doesn't fit, maybe we ask them to move on. Maybe they, and most 9 times out of 10, they're going to move on themselves. I had a boss who said, if somebody wants to be here, they're going to do everything in their power to be here. If they don't, they're going to leave. They're going to take it on their own shoulders. And that's really where we're at. It just takes us, maybe sometimes we have to help guide that direction. And that's the wonderful thing about being in management, is I get to guide people. I get to coach people. That's the best part about what we do, is making those connections, making those people. And especially when we get the interns or the fresh out of college, we give them that work ethic. We give them that teaching moment, saying, hey, here's what we got to do. We're not here for us. We're here for them. They pay our bills. They help us have jobs and live in beautiful places.
Yeah, that's, you made a great point there, and I say that all the time. My orientation in the summer. Hey, folks, welcome to the club. It's not your club. It's not about you.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the member. And 4 out of 5 be like, hey, that's great. And then there's always 1 out of 5 that'll be like, oh, I don't want to come in on a Saturday or Sunday. I want my weekends off, or I don't want to get there early, or I don't want. And normally halfway through the summer, it's pretty evident they're not going to be asked back for the next summer, or they're not going to make it through the rest of the summer. And it's a choice, they make, as long as you can say to yourself, and you just said it, if I can coach them and they're coachable, then they'll stay. If they're not, then they'll probably move on.
Hmm.
But it's tough. It's tough sometimes when you have to keep that service level up and you've got one member of the team that's just not quite in sync. It's annoying. Just
Yeah.
hoping I can get some hints from you, you know. Um,
But it's not easy giving that feedback. That's the hard part. It's like that wheel with the nail in it. You just want it to bounce over and you're good.
yeah.
Um, but
Yeah, it's
but
just like, I mean, you know, I go like, hey, we're changing this clinic or we're changing this event. You need to be in line with that and understand it. For example, how often do you change the menu? And when you change the menu, you know, is there a guide that you use with your chef, with your head of food and beverage? Do you guys have a management meeting with the wait staff and say, hey, the menu's changing. Let's get on board with this. We've got to, you know, take the members through what's new. How often do you do that? And what's the process?
so we flip our menu every 2 weeks. Our specials
Wow.
change weekly. It's very frequent. So our staff is used to changes in the menu. Is used to now we do have of course we have a McConnell standard that we have on our menu. We have a salad. We have a sandwich that people so when they go from club to club to club, they still feel like they're at home.
Mhm.
But they're used to that changeover. They're used to that flip. So it's easy for our staff to understand. Okay, we're going to change things up. All right, the membership is expecting it. So we don't really try and do too much with it. But at the same time, the training is always there. Hey, guys, this week, we're doing a prime rib dinner. We're doing king cut, queen cut, whatever we're trying to do, and we're going to move forward that way. Um, Chef right now, he's gotten to a point where he just kind of tells me, "Hey, look, we're going to bring these menu items back because they were big sellers, and we're going to keep going." And at the end of the day, what we try and do is talk about the other things that we have on the menu, the things that are stable, things that are there, like our wellness salmon, which we sell. It's our most frequent buyer, so it's not going anywhere because really, especially with my onboarding, uh, we're pushing a wellness initiative. We have gluten-free, vegan menu items, options for anybody and everything that are with their intolerances out there. So we really try and push and maintain the frequency of wellness in our menus. Asheville's
That's
such an active,
fantastic.
yeah, it's such an active area that everybody was trying to push into that wellness. So when we talk about new menu items, we talk about what are the wellness implications of this menu item.
So you change the menu every 2 weeks. And you do you do breakfast? Do you do breakfast there? No,
No,
no
not unless
breakfast.
it's a tournament.
Okay. So that's a lot of work though, changing the menu lunch and dinner, obviously. Um, and the staff has to keep up with those changes, obviously. Up on board with that. When you change a menu, let's say you're going into this, like right now, we're going into the season, you know, we're going into the holiday season.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you change the menu once for maybe you know the week before Thanksgiving. Do you do is there a Thanksgiving theme? Do you do different themes to get people to club during the holidays? Do you kind of do decor and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, whenever we go into a holiday season, we always do decor. Decor is key. I tell people we're going to hit your senses, and that was a Club Med thing. I took that from them. I go, what do you hear? What do you see? What do you smell? What do you touch? What are you going to do with everything? And I tell people all the time, if it smells good, they're going to come in, and then they're going to see it, and then they're going to hear it, and they're going to be excited by it. When the bar is slow, you got to get people into the bar. How do you do that? You come in, you create a little commotion. You have some people laughing, and it always drives people in.
Hmm.
But one of the things that I love the most is when I was at conference this week down in Wilmington with the McConnell food and beverage teams. You could always smell when lunch was being served.
Yeah.
You just know it's time, and you can kind of see people start to move around and get agitated a little bit because they want to get into that food.
Smell that toast on the BLT.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that you use the smells, you use the sights, you use the sounds. We did. I have a great events and catering director and a director of communications who have really upgraded our decorations over the last year. We do Christmas trees all over the place at Christmas time, um, and they've really started to uh, develop what does this look like? What does this event look like? This year for member guests, we did a casino theme. This place turned into Vegas. We had showgirls, we had Elvis, we had we had table games, we had glow in the dark putt putt. I mean, it was what do you see, what do you hear, what do you touch, what do you smell,
That's
and
awesome.
it was a great experience, and the comments, we sold out in 3 minutes
That's
with a
fantastic.
50-person wait list.
No,
It's
okay, so you bring me on to my next comment, which was you talked about your director of communications, and making your club a destination starts with how you market, right, to the membership. This is what my background is in. Yours is fitness and wellness, mine is marketing. And I'm wondering, obviously you have some events there, but how do you reach out to your members? We're finding it's some of the clubs we work with, emails going a little stale.
Mhm.
People don't have it sounds crazy. They don't have the time to tap one extra tap to get to their email, but how are you marketing to your members? Is it through social media? Is it through texting? Is it through email mainly? Or is it word of mouth with your staff, or a combination? And what's your lead and how are you doing that?
It's our combination of everything. Right now, our major push is emails. I send out a monthly email with the upcoming events, what is going to happen. I'm working on a plan right now to expand that process. I know at Cherokee, each department sent out a monthly email with their events, what their happenings were. We sent here at Asheville, I send out a monthly email. We send out a weekly happenings email with all the upcoming events for that week. We have an app for push notifications. We push through there, and then we
Mhm.
attack Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. We're trying to
LinkedIn.
get
You
better at
attack
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn as a club?
I
Really?
have a LinkedIn account, so I'm posting something to LinkedIn all the time.
Oh,
And
maybe your members are following on LinkedIn. That's a great idea.
yeah, I before I started here, I when I announced that I had taken the job, I had members commenting, "Hey, glad to have you at the club," and all that stuff. It's people want to community, want that communities, social communities, social media communities are the only the next evolution to what we're doing. Whether it's a community online or a community in person, we got to figure out how to tie the two and get them in. I know our marketing department at McConnell Golf is constantly trying to bridge that gap between the social media community and the physical community. We do a magazine every 2 months. McConnell Golf does a quarterly magazine, and
Oh
they're
yeah, I
they're
saw that.
major
That magazine,
operations.
that quarterly magazine is incredible. It's 110 pages. It's a beautiful piece of work.
It's well done. Our membership
Yeah.
department is phenomenal, and marketing department. They try and engage the membership in such a positive manner that you can't help but wonder. And the best part about it is, it doesn't just go to the membership; it
No,
goes
it
to the
goes
staff.
everywhere. I got it. I found it. I didn't get it. I found it.
Yeah, but it gets mailed to the staff members' houses.
Wow.
So mine's sitting on my coffee table.
Yep.
It's
Well, it's like a
it's
coffee table book. It's so thick.
it
It's
is.
beautiful. It's so well presented. So let me ask you. So you're trying to do, I'm finding that pushes, off the I don't know if you use North Star, whatever you use, what software do you use over there at the club?
Club Essentials.
Club Essentials. Okay. You can do pushes off that, and members first. I know we can do it there in Princeton. I'm doing it off a couple of other tennis softwares, tennis club software. So we're finding the pushes are really getting some good return on investment. People, it pops up on their if you make it sure, if you make the member know that, hey, you might miss something if you don't have the push notification. Are you finding pushes are doing well for you too?
I haven't found the pushes are building just yet because so many people they have so many apps with push notifications on. So
Yep.
people are starting to go in and make that manual adjustment to turn push notifications off. But we're trying to work. We're working on trying to figure out how to do it better. And every time a new member walks through my doors, I have the opportunity to say, "Hey, how do you guys like to be communicated with? Do you like it? Do you like the push notifications through the app? Oh, by the way, we have an app.
Yeah,
Or
right.
is it email? Is it word of mouth? And 9 times out of 10, they're telling me email right now. And that's, I mean,
Yep.
I have it. We look at our numbers, and our numbers are in the high 70s, low 80s most of the time for
But
email
opening
opening,
emails, that's high. That's really good.
but nobody's clicking through. And that's what we're trying to figure out. Why do we not have those click throughs? What's going on?
Check the links. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
exactly.
Uh, um, that 70 80 is high. I mean, a couple of clubs I deal with, we see that, but most of them, I think it depends on the age, the demographic of the main member. I think a lot of it has to do with, Instagram is a younger platform. And I think, probably your legacy kids, are coming in at 25 to 35. They're probably on Instagram, watching those stories and stuff. But the email does well, I think, for the slightly older demographic. But yeah, communications is so important. Do you have like when and making your club a destination. I remember I did and this might be where we started talking. I did in the front of a clubhouse. I said, how do you make your clubhouse a destination? And sometimes I go in and there's a club here I won't mention, but I go into the clubhouse and there's like posters everywhere in the foyer. I don't agree with that, but do you put like posters up, or do you physical marketing materials in the clubhouse somewhere? Is there a separate area for that? How do you look at that? Because sometimes members can say that cheapens the club, but at the same time, you've got to get that word of mouth out. You've got to get the publicity out. How do you mix that up?
So yeah, we did put in digital rotating TV screens with the just rotating flyers. We try not to put them too much in the face of everybody, but we do put them in high traffic areas to make sure that they're seeable. We also put table tents on all the tables. Um, the other fun thing that we started doing is doing costume night, where the servers get dressed up. If we're trying to push a certain event, the servers get dressed up in that theme.
That's
Go
great.
from, so we go from black on black to the other day we were pushing the fall festival. The servers were allowed to come in flannels and jeans, and
Great.
it did a great job. It took us it garnered us enough of people to do that event, and that was
Jeans in the
awesome.
clubhouse. That's dangerous. No jeans, no denim, those old rules.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
no jeans in the club. Well, we're in Asheville. We're Asheville weird. We're good. We can do it.
it's funny. I mean, you look at the dress code, and there's another, those are the things that are kind of, maybe, I don't know what your club specifically, maybe you could bring us up to date on that, but I see a lot of clubs, saying, hey, you can have white jeans for, women can have white denim, denim at certain times or certain days of the week. Have you guys relaxed the dress code in any way in the last year?
We're no longer shirt and tie, and that's been kind of changing over the years. We do allow denim. It has to be neat denim, no cuts, no tears, anything like that. With the rise of athletic leisure wear, it's
Yeah.
been a tough, tough road to battle. And you know what? You got the Lululemon leggings, you got this stuff. You can dress them up or dress them down. So it's been a tough go, but I still tell people, men, you got to come in golf attire. And ladies, golf attire. Make sure it's clean. Make sure it's not dirty. So if you did work out in it, please, we have beautiful locker rooms. Please go change.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, at the end of the day, you can only do so much with a dress code. Otherwise, you start looking like a gym with a bar inside of it. Um, I
Yeah, it's a fine line. And again, if to be welcoming, you don't want to be anti,
mhm.
somebody that's in Lululemon that, I heard someone say it the other day, the Lululemon leggings could probably cost $100, and a pair of Levi's that are clean denim pay 30, cost 30 or whatever.
Right.
It's not just about the money value, it's about the whole look. And I think, you have to bring the membership in on that and say, hey, we got to draw the line somewhere. It's not easy, and that's one of the points I think that a lot of people sometimes fall away from, making it a destination. So you have to run that carefully. I'm sure you do.
Yeah. You gotta walk that fine line, because if you don't, you can try and fall one way or the other. Um, and you can't be too elegant in a place like Asheville, like the Asheville Mountains, where most people walk around in blue jeans all day long.
Yeah, it's a mountain community.
Hmm.
Uh, so to wrap up, the second to last question, what what have you done the most in your first year there, that you think, you personally, it doesn't have to be scientific, but that you think has made the club the most welcoming as a destination since you've been there? What have you done?
I have really increased my this position's presence around the club. Um, it's not just the dining room that I go into. I'm at first tee. I'm at well, I wouldn't say I'm at first tee, but I'm at the green. I'm at the putting green. I walk around. I really try and get to know people. I try and shake hands as much as I possibly can. The old saying, shaking the babies, kissing the hands, or
Hmm.
other way around, whichever way you want to do it. But you got to be that. You got to have that personality that wants to draw people together. The pool is one of the spots that most people despise the pool. When the pool's open, everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, it's the pool." I think it's great because you got families getting together with families, and they were just hanging out. They got nowhere else to go. They want to get together and sit down, and that's my time to go out and say, "Hey, good to see you. What are we doing? How are you guys enjoying this experience?" And 9 times out of the 10, people are happy, unless they can't get their mai tai or they can't get their tequila, whatever it is. But there's always an easy way to fix that. And I love pool season because that just brings in the busyness. It brings the people together. Friends are bringing friends, and you always get to meet somebody new, and you get another opportunity at excellence.
One of my students who's now a director at another club, I was his mentor, and he said, availability is the best ability. And I think that is just what you said. You made yourself available to the club. If you look at the K King and W does the big searches, their number one thing is they say be available to the membership. And I think that if you have a head of the club or a head of a department that's not available and not welcoming, you're shooting yourself in the foot as a club. And you nailed it, that one. Just for fun, what do you think was your lowest point your first year? Do you have what would you change that you did that you think maybe I could change that? What do you think you would
There's
maybe
always something.
Of course.
I can't think of it. Can't think of one thing off the top of my head, but there's things like the bag drop experience. What do they feel? What do they see when they walk up to the bag drop? Is it just a podium, or is there an actual structure out there to make people welcome and know, hey, look, this is what we're going to do. This is what you're supposed to expect when you come to the club. I think there's an opportunity out there to grow the tennis facility. Our tennis facility is kind of down and away from our normal clubhouse, and we got a beautiful. We're one of 3 facilities in Asheville with indoor tennis courts.
Gorgeous.
How do we grow that? It's awesome. What is that experience, and how can we build upon that? And the fact that at the end of the day that we're still building and growing gives me hope. That's why I can't say there's just one thing that I said that was a low point. There's multiple things here that I've only touched the low hanging fruit. Now we get to start climbing the tree a little bit to pick on the other stuff, and it's only going to keep going.
Great having you on. Are you going to be out at the CMAA conference, and is it in Vegas?
It's in Vegas. It's going home for me. So yeah, I'll definitely be there.
I'm going to be there, so I'll make sure we meet up in person, and look forward to meeting you. Thank you so much, Aaron, for being on the podcast. It's really been interesting talking to a GM of one of the most elite clubs on the Eastern Seaboard, and thanks for making time for us.
Thanks, Ed. Thanks for having me.
No, you're welcome.